Okay, in this one, we are going to show you how to edit a course of video. So let's just say we saved it to screen rank. You can either double tap the icon on the desktop, or you could literally pull in this little helper bar and click this gallery. Okay, so here it is, 5 minutes right here. I can hit preview. This is going to pop up, and I'm going to download it to the file just for the course that we're making. And then we're going to open it in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, no worries. If you don't have any video editing skills, I go through this so simple, step by step, all the way down to mastering audio in a couple clicks. This is very beneficial for you because you can have perfect video, perfect audio, super simple, and I don't get too complex with anything. Also, Adobe Premiere Pro is best bought at the Creative Cloud subscription. And if you're a teacher or a student, you can apply for that. And I think it's like super cheap then. But they also do have a week membership trial. If you are thinking about using it or you have your own editor, fine. I'm going to show you just a couple simple edits on this video. So we're going to open up Adobe Premiere Pro. And right away, we're going to make a new file. All right, new project. We are going to set its location up here where we want it. And I'm going to go choose location. For this, I want this to go right to the course. And final. Okay, select. All right, now right here, screen recording will be the name of it, and I'll go to hit create. All right. So the very first thing you want to do is first we'll bring in our video, and then we'll set a sequence because we want to give the best sequence that our course platforms prefer, okay? So to do that, we go up to File, and we go to New, and then we go to New Sequence, okay? Now, this is shot at about 20 frame rates, it says. So we'll just pick the lowest setting here. And when it goes to settings, we just want to make sure that this says 1920 by 1080. And this should be okay to go. Click OK. Now is when you want to drop it on the timeline. Okay. Keep existing settings always. All right, and as you can see, we don't want this date in here. Okay, so we could do one of two things. I'm going to import like just a photo of something. So I will pull in this. Okay. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to turn this eye off. You don't have to worry about that, but I'm pulling in a photo because I'm going to cover this up. But first I want to make sure that the video touches this. So if I can see this background, I'm going to go click editing. I'm going to make sure my video is selected. And if I make it smaller, do you see that checkerboard? That means you're going to have black bars anywhere you see checkerboard. So I'm just going to click editing with this layer highlighted, and I'm going to scale up until everything touches just the edges here. Now I'm going to turn this eye back on and drag in a photo. And I'm with the photo selected now, I'm going to drag this to the bottom. And all I'm going to do is cover that bottom edge. You see that time? We want to cover that up. So the two ways of doing that is just like this, or it would be to just have this highlighted, select editing, and expand it. But I don't want to lose any of my screen or information, so I'm choosing to go this route. If I select this and I go up to effects here, and I just type in blur, okay, and then I pick the Gaussian blur over here, and I drop it on this layer. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to go back to editing, and I'm just going to go scroll down on the left in this effects panel, and I'm going to turn the blur on. I want that blurred out a little bit. Okay, good. Now I would, at the end, I would make sure that this stretches over the whole timeline, right? But for right now, what we have to do is we have to work on this audio. So I'm going to show you how to do the audio in a couple quick steps. So what I would do for audio is I would open my browser and go to auphonic.com, create an account, and it should give you some free time. I have 2 hours here to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that video that I have, this guy right here, the one I'm working on, okay? Before I make any audio cuts, okay? Before I do that, make any audio cuts at all or anything, I'm going to drop it in auphonic.com. Now, there'll be a couple different things we could do. I'm going to download this. Okay. Start production is what we want. Now you get 2 hours for free, and then after that it's paid, or after that you have to create another email and go back through there again. But that's how that works. And this thing is amazing. So we'll listen to it before and then after, and then I'll show you how to match your audio up perfectly. So this will only take a second. But what you guys need to know is when you make those selections on the other page of what we're working with, like I'll open another tab right now and I'll go to it. So when you drop something up here, it's going to give you options, and you just kind of want to like try a couple different options that works best for you, because sometimes when you remove the breathing, what happens is at the end of a sentence or something, the audio might kind of dip hard. So you just, play around with it, try a couple of the export settings and find the one that you like most and use that, because that'll be your best bet. All right, so now, guys, we don't want to grab the video again. We just want to grab the audio file, and the audio file is going to be the MP3 right here. So there's a video file and an audio file, right? We just want right here. Okay, and now it is said it is downloaded. So I'm going to go to File and Import, and here it is. And I'm just going to highlight this and move it down the timeline just to make, okay, look, now we need to match it. So when I match it right now, it's going to sound echoey because I have to turn my speakers back on, but I will show you the difference. All right, guys. In this one, I'm going to be teaching you how to download a simple screen recorder. Now, this is up to you whether you just want now that mutes the bottom layer screen record software and just have it be over a slide deck with no picture-in-picture. Okay, so this actually sounds perfect. Let me show it what it sounds like to you, because now it's matched up. I just moved the timelines down the way because I hit edit and undo to move stuff back, or Control Z. But okay, so now they're matched up. All right, guys. In this one, if it's echoey, you would still have to move it down to match it. So if I would then slide this in, and I would open this up a little bit more so I can see, so I can kind of match exactly these bars, what it looks like. But then I would just grab it and slide it over just a little bit. Okay. But since this works, I'm going to be teaching you how, right? I'm going to turn this off so you can hear the two different audios. All right, guys, so this is going to be a night and day difference here. So right now I'm going to hit this M right here on this audio track. That's going to mute the one that we made at Auphonic, and that's going to be playing this audio track right here. We're just going to hit play. Screen recorder. Now, this is up to you whether you just... So it sounds very flat, doesn't sound that good. Now let's mute the flat track and turn on the Auphonic track. Want to have your screen record software, and it is a night and day difference with this, guys. It is a complete night and day difference. So this is why we use Auphonic, and this is why we just get amazing podcast quality audio. I'm just going to click this layer, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to unlink. Now I know the audio is matched up perfectly, so now it's unlinked. I'm going to click the audio that we originally recorded just from, our microphone, and I'm going to delete it because I have it matched up perfect. Now I'm going to click the bottom audio, and I'm going to hold shift, and I'm going to select the video, and I'm going to right click. Okay. And then I'm going to hit link. Okay. Now they're linked. And for the rest of the video, I am going to just be going through, cutting out uhs and ums with the C, the razor tool, but C on the keyboard. That's for Windows. But I'm going to go through this and I'm just going to make sure that I clip out any uhs, ums, any long pauses, just so it's perfect. And that's going to be the duration of this video. If the playback, it might be echoey because I'm recording while I'm editing, yeah. So let me just give you a little bit of an example of how I just make these cuts. All right, guys. In this one, I'm going to be teaching you. So I'm going to cut that out because it's redundant. I'm going to hit C on the keyboard. I'm going to hit V. And if this thing up here is going to say you could just never mind this for right now or make it smaller, just remember to stretch it out across the timeline when you're done. All right, so first of all, I'm going to left click right here and I'm going to hit delete. Okay. And now we're back to more of a. All right, guys, and if I want to put an effect to intro this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to just go audio transitions. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to go video transitions and just use the basics. I'm going to go ahead and drop a film dissolve on both of these, but I'm going to zoom in to the timeline here and expand it a little bit and just make sure that they're about the same length. Okay. And then that'll give me this. All right, guys, in this one, I'm going to be teaching you how to download a simple screen recorder. Now, this is up to you whether you just want to have your screen record software and and all this extra blank space here. I'm just going to bring it to like right about here, cut it and delete. Select the area in between and delete. Just have it be over a slide deck with no picture in picture, as you can see like I'm doing right now. And for this to happen, well, over a website, get out of there. And for this to happen, you can hook up your camera, and I would cut that out and continuously use this razor tool. This razor tool is over here, and then the selection tool, So I'm going to go through and just keep making cuts like that and get rid of stuff that's redundant or uhs and ums, unnecessary pauses and blank spaces. And then towards the end of it, I am just going to turn this video on just to export it. And that will be it. And then we'll go through export settings. Now, if this was done as is right now, I would then, if I was happy, I would drag this across the whole timeline so that covers up that bottom timestamp. Because remember, if we turn the eye off right here, you can see the time it's going to make your course dated. We don't want that. Turn it back on. All right. And now if I want to export this, I would go File, and I would go Export Media. All right. Now what we want is we want it in our course location. All right, it would save final. Okay, save. But now the settings we want here, we want this H.264. And on the video, you can kind of decide what works best. But what we'll do is we'll go with VBR Bandpass 1, which is still really good. And then for the audio, we just want to make sure that we are AAC, 48,000 hertz, stereo, and 320 on this bar. Okay. And everything else seems to line up real good. We'll give it a name up here. And then we would go and we would hit export. And our timeline, we don't want anything on that timeline past this if you do it this way, because it's going to export everything that's on that timeline. So I would set right here, set the ticker wherever you want, because that will kind of like set the video thumbnail. And then I would hit export, and it shows you the file size right down here. So 619 out of 1,000 megabytes, which 1,000 would be 1 gigabyte. This is pretty good. If you wanted that number to go down to control file size and just check your video quality, but you would just play with this number down here. If I put that down to 10, it'd be 412 megabytes then. And just remember, if this says, anything at 2000 megabytes and over is going to be too big for the one platform we're working on right now, Udemy. But if it's anything like 1900 something and some change, should be like the lowest or the highest you should go. The other way would be to, like, if you can't get the video file size down, you can export it, bring it back in, and you can drop this setting right here a little bit. I wouldn't go too low, but then check your quality, of course, to make sure you're still maintaining high quality. And you can export it a second time, and it should chop it in half. It'll cut how big the file size is down. So you might have to bring in your video back into the editor a couple times, go right back to export and drop this number right here. And that is all under video right here, this tab. But that's the way you can control your file size as well. I would then just hit export. Okay, guys, so that is how I'm doing really quick, simple edits. And I mean, just like we put that audio transition, if I wanted to transition out at the end, I would just drop that there, left click and hold, and then I would just adjust the time. And since I have this other layer too, I want to match next video. And that's about it. Right. So just remember, guys, that do not overcomplicate it. This is just a couple moves to get it perfect. Match up your audio. Always make sure that you test your audio and that you have one playback file and that you can confirm that your microphone is on before making like an hour-long video or a half-an-hour-long video, whatever it is. It would be awful if you recorded your content and forgot to check by taking a 3-second video on screen rec right here and saying testing, 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 and then going back in here, hitting this gallery and playing it back to make sure it has audio. These have been a couple quick edits here. And if you guys have any other requests for simple type course edits, so just remember, if you're not using the screen rec over your videos, then it sounds like you're just going to be doing a voiceover on like a slide deck or something like that. There's a few different ways you can make courses. Anyways, guys, I hope this was helpful. And for other questions, I'll see you in the group.